It's time for the original setup show dedicated to providing you with tips, tricks, and feedback to pimp out your setup. Hosted by Philie with new special guests every week. Coming at you live in 3, 2, 1.
All right, everybody, welcome to Pimp My Setup episode number 3. It's June 26, 2021, and it's a great day because we're looking at setups. My name is Philie, and today I am joined by Jason, aka Painfully Honest Tech. How you doing, man?
I am doing well. It's Saturday afternoon. It is time for Pimp My Setup. I am so glad the show is back because I was telling you offline, I used to watch all the time, and now I get to participate.
It's so fun.
And you know, when the name is Painfully Honest,
we're in for a treat today. So get ready for that, and definitely I'll leave a link to your channel down below. Check it out. I know you're doing some audio stuff now, so a lot of people here, they want to know about audio. They want to know best headphones and that kind of stuff. So go check him out. He's got the info.
Got it covered. Yes.
All right. Well, quickly before we get into the episode, just so you know, you can submit your setup at pimpmysetup.com. You can also go over to pimpmysetup.com/3 and see all the setups from today's episode and a link to all the products featured. So that's important. Anyways, let's get into the first setup of the day, submitted by Alex, 24 years old, uses her setup for streaming, gaming, and work/productivity. So I got to tell you, this is, of course, the thumbnail and my favorite setup of the day. So I'm not trying to say the setups coming up later aren't great, but this one, I mean, come on. What are your thoughts on this?
It definitely sets the bar high. I mean, the whole overall theme, the colors are working, the wallpapers, the lighting, the nano tiles, everything is working. The white on white is great. I don't know about those creative speakers, but otherwise, I mean, we've got a Go XLR Mini, we've got a Stream Deck, we've got a nice looking mic setup. It's solid. We got the Alex drawers in gray, my favorite Alex drawer color. So solid.
Yeah. So this is one of my favorite things about setups. Like, the lights literally change everything. You can go from, in my opinion, a crazy color filled setup to, you know, we'll go to picture 4 here, and it's all white. And it really, in my opinion, changes everything to like a more minimal, it feels like a different setup, you know? And I love how she was able to utilize lights where it wasn't, oh my God, it's another RGB setup. It's more of like, wow, this really can change the whole aesthetic, the mood. And I mean, what are your thoughts on just the way that the light plays into the entire setup?
I think it's really cool because, I mean, as you say, it changes the vibe of everything. Mm-hmm. But one thing that I would like about it is, you know, sometimes I like the cool sort of RGB pink and blue kind of chill out thing.
Yeah.
But in the morning, I would probably need this. You know, I'd need the white.
Yeah.
Because that would get me going. And it's a nice, like, we've all set up lights. We know how hard it is to get everything to like work. So I totally appreciate the variety that Alex has been able to put into this is really, really cool. I just noticed that the headphones are like way up there.
Everyone's talking about it in the chat. They're like, how tall is she? Because that seems a little not practical.
Yeah. I mean, those look like Bose. Those look like the Bose QC35s or something.
Yeah. Okay. She says they're her on the go headphones. So her other headphones are in her drawer. So she's not doing it often, but Fatal Plus in the chat, or Fatal Pulse, says she uses a grab claw. Yeah, she's got that under the desk, mounted with Velcro tape, ready to go at any time. Very smart.
The old person get the can off the high shelf.
Hey, sometimes that's what you have to do. But looking at the closer photo here, first off, I love this photo. I love the angle and everything. Very cool. And you can really tell just how spread out everything is. The desktop isn't crowded. She's able to fit her PC. It's not eating up a lot of space. The camera's in a good position. It really looks like it's completely floating, which is such a cool effect. And the other thing too is her cable management is exactly what you want to see. Done perfectly, utilizes the Alex drawers to hide a majority of the things. And it just works. What are your thoughts on the cable management?
I mean, I'm envious of this cable management because every time I try and be clean, it it looks terrible. And I'm always impressed when people are able to get stuff so clean like that.
Mm-hmm.
And this looks great. I mean, yeah, like you say, it's spacious. You feel like there's room on the desk. That's one of the hardest things. Like, you want a desk that's functional, but doesn't feel cluttered.
Mm-hmm.
And this one definitely has that vibe. Like, everything is at arm's reach except for the headphones. But yet at the same time, it doesn't feel like there's just junk all over the place. Right.
Yeah.
So I dig it.
What's cool too is I think with the shelf, it's hard to have a balance where you want to show off who you are, what you like, but you also don't want to have just like a bunch of stuff. And you also don't want to have it where it's not enough, where it looks like, okay, why do you even have shelves? So good balance here. Again, the keyboard up there might be a little hard if you want to use that one, but of course we're messing around. I like that you put it on display for if you ever do need it, it's there. And that second shelf, good balance of things. Overall, I think it's just an easy setup to look at. What do you critique, right? What is there to change?
Let me see. Well,
you are painfully honest, so let's hear it.
Well, the one thing that I want to see is the headphones. I want to see, like, if they're gaming headphones, headset, whatever, I want to see those maybe, somewhere near the CPU or something like that, mm-hmm. within arm's reach, because I feel like if you go in for the theme and you get the white headset,
ooh,
you get the extra bonus points. So I think I want to see the headset, and I would recommend, when money allows, maybe upgrading those speakers to something like an audio engine. The audio engine makes some smaller powered speakers.
That A2S or whatever.
Yeah. I'd recommend those audio engines, because those are serious. And they sound. Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. I mean, if you're looking to obviously upgrade, then the options exist. Apparently she uses Bayer Dynamic headphones. So
DT 770s.
Probably. I mean, who doesn't, right? Everyone loves a good DT 770s.
Yeah. So. But they do make a DT 990 in a special edition that's silver.
Ooh, I need to cop that.
Yeah. That would be sweet with this setup, though, I'm saying.
Yeah. All right. Well, 990s. There you go. They're probably not the special edition, but still. All right, so I forgot to put the timer on for this first setup, so we probably went a little over, but that's okay, because we're going to keep things going. Also, hopefully Alex is going to be on my new series coming soon, so stay tuned. But anyways, here we go. Next setup is submitted by Pedro. He's 18. He uses the setup for law school, media consumption, and occasional gaming. And he also wanted me to know that wallpaper on his screen, he took that photo. That is awesome. I love that. That's like some Daniel Schiffer kind of stuff. And this setup, man, it is so different from what we normally see. And I just love it. I feel like this is personality. This is usable. And it just has such a cool vibe. So what were your initial thoughts?
Yeah. Well, initially my eyes gravitated toward like the album cover art and and stuff like that. Well, the posters on the wall. And I'm like, is Pedro my age? Those are the bands I listened to in my youth.
Yeah.
But I'm a huge Beatles fan, by the way. So big points, bonus points for me for the Beatles poster. But yeah, what I liked was, this is kind of like the opposite of what Alex's setup was. There's a lot going on the shelves, but it doesn't feel like completely overbearing.
Yeah.
And I just think that it's really clean, but it looks like you could grab everything there if you needed to have it. And I guess too, it looks like the Alienware is pulling double duty. Like it's on this screen as well as that screen, and it's just that's a pretty nice setup to be able to go back and forth to a bigger screen like that.
Yeah, I mean it'll save some space for sure, not needing to put a tower on the floor and that kind of stuff. I think what's interesting with this setup, like you said, the shelves, there's a lot there, but it doesn't feel like over the top. I think it's because books just make you look smart. And if you kind of put them in the right order, they look like, wow, this man is sophisticated. And that is exactly it. Pedro, he's only 18. He's doing law school, but obviously he's kind of taking it pretty serious. And I'd love to see that. And some people might say like, yeah, there's a lot going on the desk, but it's also spaced out. And in terms of when he's actually sitting in front of his computer, it's spaced out enough to where he's not like hitting things. And, he's got more than enough room actually. And he's got every accessory you could ever imagine on his desk, which is very cool. Let's see what they're saying in the chat. I think it looks cluttered because of the lack of depth of the desk. That is true. It is not a deep desk at all, but he makes it work. And, you know, it fits the space. So I don't know if he really could go with a deeper desk in an L shape.
I think that because of the L shape, you get a little bit more leeway. Like this is probably like maybe 28 inches deep, something 24.
Yeah, maybe even less now, like 25.
Yeah. So I think that because you have two different workspaces, you get away with that a little bit more. Mm-hmm. And so when you look at each of the different stations, though, they don't look like they have too much there. Mm-hmm. You know, the laptop side has got a little bit more stuff going on.
Definitely.
But you know, it's clean. You know, he's got his HyperX. What is this, Cloud 2?
Oh yeah, Cloud. Yep. And another set right there. I don't know what that is.
That looks like maybe an Audio Technica. I'm not sure, but yeah, and a Harman Kardon Bluetooth. That's the old school Harman Kardon Bluetooth speaker.
He likes it old school, you know.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, I'm impressed. Just, you know, I'm impressed with how when I was 18, you know, nothing looked like this.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, he's going to law school, so it fits the personality.
Yeah, I mean, I probably used a desk like a cardboard box as a desk at 18.
Yeah. So you know what I just realized? He also has an Xbox 360 with a Kinect on his desk. So this guy really, he's a couple of years back. I don't know what he's doing, but he's enjoying his life, to say the least.
Yeah, that is, you know, going with the Kinect is old school now.
Yeah, very. Also, look at the desk underneath. Very cool with the way the panels work to hide the cables, and he's got all the grommets and stuff. So he did a very he did good with the cable management, but the desk really plays into that. So that's another reason why get a desk that fits your space, that, you know, kind of helps you in a way. And then also we have this final picture with this dog. What a cool room, a cool little space. He really, I don't know. He still has a ton of open room, and that's really important. So I like it. What do you think of the whole room in itself?
I like it. I even like, there's like these leather panels on the wall.
Yeah,
like,
I don't know what that's about.
Yeah, but you know, I don't know if there's a little bit of a trick because of the lens, because it's probably a wide angle lens that makes it a little bit bigger. But I will say that having a big space like this, you know, they say that you're not supposed to do all of your work and play and everything where you sleep. You should sleep where you sleep. But because there's a good separation here, I think it works really well. Yeah, and he's even done a pretty good job. Like the desk is closely matched to the rest of the stuff. It's a little bit lighter, but the grain is pretty close. So he's got a good detail here. And Action Comics, Batman, you know,
good taste.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we are going to go on to the next setup of the day, submitted by Melvin, who's 18. He uses his setup for gaming and YouTube. So very straightforward. He's just telling you, listen, I literally play games and I watch YouTube. That's it. You know, I'm not going to law school. I don't do any work. I'm just hanging out. And I like that. And he's also 18. So you kind of see two sides. You have the one guy going to law school, taking it, you know, very serious. He's very professional. And then you have someone more like how I was at 18, who's just enjoying life. And I love that. So right off the bat, you could tell that his setup is pretty straightforward. He's in the same situation. He's got his bed next to him. He's got some shelves up with posters of things that he likes. And he does it pretty well, where he's not really worried about like being in a tight, confined space. He makes it feel open. But what were your initial thoughts when you saw this setup?
I was digging it. I mean, is this the IKEA Bekant or Bekant or however you say it? I mean, for 18, rocking the Secret Lab chair is pretty hot. Yeah. I mean, you know, I'm a Secret Lab endorsee, so I like the Secret Lab. And then, you know, I like the case for the PC that looks like it's a Define RC, perhaps. Something like that. Maybe an R6. Can't tell really, but it looks like it is. And then I'm never a big fan of subwoofers, but this one is just kind of hiding away here. It doesn't bother me that much. Yeah, I mean, I think he's done a lot with the space.
Yeah.
And he's got his Astro A50s over there. So yeah, I'm digging it.
My favorite thing with you is that you're pointing out like model numbers of everything, which I know the audience loves, because so many times they're like, what is this? What is that? And I look at it, I'm just like, he's got headphones and speakers. And so it's just nice to have that side of it. But looking at it, I have to say, I really am interested in what the chat has to say about the way that he's utilizing this desk, right? Because it's a very nice, spacious desk, but he's kind of put himself in a weird position, right? Because he's kind of in that corner that's not really meant to be used that way. And so I wonder what the usability is like. And having that PC in that spot rather than on the left side, like for me, I would flip it. I would put the PC where the subwoofer is and the subwoofer where the PC is. Then I would sit straight so that my left side is where that curve is, because that's the original intent. And I think you still would probably be able to fit everything. And then you'd have this wide open side of the left of your desk to do whatever. And like, cause look at his speakers, look at I know it's like a CSGO thing with the way the mouse pad's flipped and the keyboard, but it just doesn't feel like he's doing it the right way.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I hear what you're saying. I mean, the placement of the speakers definitely kind of off kilter. You know, you want to have equilateral triangle from your ears to the speakers and a little off here. But I will say this. I mean, if gaming is the thing, he's got these look like Asus monitors. And so he's got one that's right there in the center. And one thing I know from using that, like your arms kind of can rest on both sides of the L. Yeah. So that might be a comfort thing. And so for that, I'll say, okay. But yeah, I mean, ultimately for aesthetics, I think I agree with you, but I think that he's going for the comfort level.
Yeah. Which makes sense because when you have the mouse pad tilted and stuff like that, he's doing the flick shots. So he's moving he really needs a lot of empty space. But yeah, again, in terms of aesthetic and stuff, it's just like, and like Pimp just said in the chat, it feels off. Feels like something's not right. But hey, if it's more functional for him, that's all that really matters at the end of the day. Again, this is a show where, I mean, we used to give points and the points don't matter, just like whose line is it anyway. But underneath the desk, he's got the Linmon, my God. He's got the Signum. I think those Signums are actual knockoffs. I can't tell from the angle. One looks like a Signum. The other one looks, okay, no, it's just the way he's got things mounted. But he's got his cable management on point, all things considered, and it looks pretty decent. What were your thoughts on his cable management?
Cable management is on point. I mean, it's really hard when you want to get that, sort of no cable look. But you've got a power strip on one side, you've got your Ethernet cable, then you've got to bring some cables down to the PC, and that can always just ruin everything. He's got the PC cables nice and wrapped. He's got the power strip going down the outside of the leg there. Yeah. So you just, it's just like that one little piece of the cable shown. So he's solid. He's solid on that for sure.
Not bad at all. And I mean, we'll quickly look at his other photos as we wrap this one up. He's got, boxes and posters and stuff like that, and even some pop vinyl. So he adds personality throughout. So I think he did pretty good with that. But we're going to move on to the next setup of the day, submitted by Dean, who's 21, uses his setup for gaming, working, and college. And guess what? He's studying law and he's currently working at a law firm. What's the chance of that? So, and he's from South Africa. Very, very cool there. So, first thoughts. What do you think?
I like pieces of it. Yeah. But like my first thing that I saw was like, it kind of doesn't gel together. Okay. That was my first thought. Like the desk looks cool, but then the bookshelf beside, I've got this thing about angling. I never let my wife angle any furniture because it cuts off so much of the space. Yeah. So, but I mean, all the pieces look good, but there's just something that's not pulling it all together. And it might be the differing sort of textures and colors going on.
Yeah. And for me, like I wanted more pictures from him. I'll put it out there. And this is kind of the problem. It's a tight space. I want to know what the left side looks like, because the way, I guess that's like a love seat, not necessarily a couch. Off to the left side. I want to know, is that up against a wall? Are we talking a square little box here? Or are we talking maybe there's a whole extra bit of space? Because we don't know what that left side looks. I guess I really should have asked for another picture. I think I tried, but I agree. In the corner, that would just look better flat, straight up against the wall. Unless, who knows, maybe there's cords coming back there, maybe Ethernet or something, and he's trying to work around that. But it just throws it off a little bit. The desk would also benefit from, just kind of strip it a little bit, sand it a little, new coat of stain, boom.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I'm trying to see what the headphones is.
Oh, let's see. Let's get a little close. Corsair.
Yeah. What are they sitting on? It looks like half a football. It's a
drum.
Yeah. Okay. I was like, how did you get half a football?
Hey, you never know. It's South Africa. So
yeah. So I realized that I'm talking about football, not football.
Yeah.
Anyway, you know what I mean? It's everywhere else, football means something else. I get it.
Yeah. Look at this underneath his monitor. What are your thoughts on this old gem?
Well, if he uses it, I'm impressed. If it's just there to provide height for the monitor, I don't know. I don't know. It's like I could use a VHS player just to get stuff off of old VHS tapes, but he's got his civil procedure law books here ready to go just in case he has to get some quick studying in. The one thing about the desk as a whole is, as you said, maybe if it was shifted over to sort of corner with the wall, but the whole desk, like all his stuff is pushed over to the right. And because of the way that the love seat is sitting, I think it looks like you can't get to the other side of the desk with the chair.
Yeah. Very weird.
And I just noticed that there are 2 love seats because there's another dog in this bottom right corner.
Yeah. The dogs are just duplicating. Maybe that's what's happening.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it looks functional. I'll say that. It looks like he's got everything set up so that he doesn't have to, reach or do anything awkward to get to the stuff that he needs to get to. But he's got more desk space that he could utilize. And right now I would say push it over where that bookshelf is and give yourself a little bit more elbow room. You know
what's weird? In this photo that we're looking at on the left-hand side, you could see another poster, and it just makes me wonder what is going on that left side, and why did he not want to show it? Mystery, to say the least.
Yeah. It's a little sus
Definitely sus. He's the imposter. Looking here at the bottom, I would assume Ethernet, or maybe I would hope Ethernet, maybe USB.3 extension cable. Who knows nowadays, right? Technology is weird, but running it right across the floor. So is it not coming from the right-hand side like I thought? Kind of looks like maybe it's coming from the left. What's going on the left side of the room?
I don't know.
Very weird.
And the cable management otherwise looks pretty solid. Everything's like Velcro tied and everything like that.
Yeah.
But like this, you just got this little string of spaghetti going across the floor. Look, I'm no one to talk. I've never been good with the cable management, as I said, but when everything's super clean and one thing is not, it kind of stands out.
For sure. Yeah. And really, this desk could just be spaced out, push the monitors out a little bit, maybe even put the PC on the floor. You have like a ton of space underneath the desk, and it doesn't look like there's anything fancy going on within the actual computer that's like lighting up and making it worth having it on your desk. Let's just space things out. It'll make a little more sense. But let's go to the next setup, and actually the final setup submitted by a fellow Jason, 37. And he uses his setup for gaming, streaming, and media consumption. And he also said the theme is inspired by gunship music, which is synthwave. And the shelf that's lit up, which let's see if we can find it. Yeah, that shelf over there is also used as a DJ stand for creating his DJ mixes. So, boom. Initial thoughts. What do you think?
Well, having graduated from high school in 1989, I'm down with the 80s theme. I like it a lot. And I think he's done a really nice job, again, like with the first setup, bringing the colors together and making sure that everything sort of tracks across the whole setup. He's got that really well done. The shelf with the DJ stuff, it sits over there, but it's showcased because it's got that light, so it looks like it's a separate space. It just doesn't look like a random shelf over on the side. Right.
Yeah.
So that's like the kind of attention to detail that I'm down with. And the desk itself, obviously super clean. I've never been able to make use of the vertical monitor, but I don't code.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
but yeah, I want to see, is there a close up of the PC? Like a little bit more?
Let's see which photo has the best. Not really. There's not a single picture that gives you like the best look into it.
Because that case looks serious. I can't tell the exactly what's
from here. It's kind of hard to really get a good look at it.
I like the kind of neon light strip that's in there.
Yeah, very, very cool. What were your thoughts? Because you're the big audio guy here. Talking about these Mackie speakers sideways, kind of a little bit covered by the main display. How does that make you feel on the inside?
A little queasy. A little queasy. I realize that audio for some people is not the most important thing, but for me, like that monitor looks like it lifts up a little bit more.
Yeah.
So you might want to, I would just like bring it up a little bit more, or even consider getting it off the stand and putting it on some kind of arm, so that it was a little bit more mobile. That might make me feel a little better, because he's gone to the trouble of having like the angled lifts, so he doesn't have the rumbling of the desk, but it's made them too high. And also, little known fact, when you want to do the sideways orientation, it's usually best to have the tweeters on the inside.
Ooh, dropping knowledge.
Yeah, because the tweeters want to be like at a certain angle to your ears. A lot of times, like, well, in this setup, it might not matter as much, but like if you had a wide setup and you had the tweeters like kind of facing out, they'd be too far away from your ears and it would mess up the timing of the sound.
Okay.
So in this case, maybe not so much a big deal, but in general, just a little knowledge for everyone out there. Tweeters on the inside.
Yeah, now you know. And apparently he's here in the chat. It's Fatal Pulse. I didn't know this was his setup. He debated getting a monitor arm. He just needs one that supports the weight. There are heavy duty ones out there. I'll even tell you, I know you said you don't really do the whole vertical thing. I have two 34-inch vertical monitors, which is really stupid. It just does not make sense, but I do it, and they're on monitor arms and they're supported. So there you go. They exist. And I have a 25-inch ultra wide that's like super high, and they sell really long arms. There's something out there for every situation. Okay. So I would definitely do that first. You don't want to cover those speakers up, in my opinion. And I'm not an audiophile, but I am an audiophile. No. Okay. No one cares.
I'm down.
Okay, cool. So what did you think of the underneath the desk with the way he was able to handle the cables?
I think it looks good. I mean, there's a little bit of, maybe this could have been tied up a little bit more here on the right-hand side, but it's not bothering me too much because there's just not much of it to see.
Yeah.
It looks like there's light coming from the window behind, right?
Yeah.
And that kind of showcases a little bit of the cables hanging down. I know we're looking at it from the floor.
Yeah. No one's going to look at it like that.
Yeah. But you could, if you wanted to be really, really OCD about it, you could Velcro those together as well as they drop down.
Yeah.
I kind of thought at first that there was like an LED kind of thing going on underneath here, which would be cool, but I think it's just the window. So
let's see. We have a night shot. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I would say it's just a window because it looks like really not a lot coming from that right-hand side, but very cool space nonetheless. When you really see it from far back, and the desk is huge.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the couch behind the desk. See, I got a couch behind my desk right here.
Yeah, and I had one behind me, and then I got a 3D printer, so now I have a Walmart folding table behind me. So I'm not cool enough to be like you now. I have really $50 table. So
and a Saquon Barkley jersey. So
yeah. So I'm obviously a good person, that's what happens.
I was always a Jets fan. Sorry.
Okay. So we are going to end the episode right here. No, I'm just kidding. But really last thing I'm going to say, because we are over the 5 minutes on the setup. I love the vibe. I love how clean it is. I love the wool color. I love how deep the desk is, how you really made use of it. I would kind of, again, little things that we mentioned, but the cheese grater blocking all the cables underneath the desk is a nice touch. It feels like a cool place to hang out. And at the end of the day, it feels like your room. No one else, just you. And that is awesome. So I like it. Any final thoughts for Jason?
The one thing I didn't notice until we were looking at it, that top down view of the desk.
Okay, let's see. Yeah.
The mouse pad.
Very cool.
Is the same as the wallpaper.
Yeah, it's that like retro whatever.
Yeah, so I like the attention to detail there. That's pretty cool.
Yes.
So overall, I mean, I think it's a really great setup. I see a Mac. Uh-oh. No, I love the PCs, but when it comes to like audio and video stuff, I can't escape Mac for some reason. I've tried, but yeah, like right now I've got a PC and a MacBook set up like at where I'm sitting. So I'm confused.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I used to be hardcore Mac guy. Now I'm not. I don't care. I have my MacBook Pro. Don't really use it that often. But yeah, I got to say, if you like Mac, good for you. If you like Windows, good for you. If you like both, then awesome. That's what life's all about, right? So, all right, in the chat, because we're going to end the show here. In the chat, I put a straw poll. I want you guys to vote for your favorite setup of the day. Just to refresh your memory, this is Alex's setup. This is Pedro's setup. This is Melvin's setup. This is Dean's setup. And then, of course, Jason's setup. Very cool with all the lights and everything. So if you had to choose right now, Jason, who would your winner be?
Well, okay. I really like Alex's setup. It's clean. It's white. But I have to say that I think I would go for Jason's setup right here.
Really?
Because I just like the darker, more moody aspect of the room, especially in that nighttime shot.
Mm-hmm.
That's the kind of room that I like, and I think I just feel like I'd be able to really chill in that room, and it holds together really well. You know, he's got a few different things going on in the room, and it doesn't feel like too much.
Mm-hmm.
Very clean. That long shot of the room really gives a good sense of what it's all about.
I have to say it's a toss up, right? Because at the end of the day, Alex always does it for me because it's just this clean, awesome, gamer-esque room. And that just, I vibe with that. But at the same time, I see Jason and I see a more personal setup, you know, like kind of like I see myself chilling in there, having a good time and just enjoying the space for what it is. But that's what makes it fun. There's so many different types of setups out there. And right now, Alex is winning just ever so slightly past Jason. So it goes to show everyone has a different taste. So I don't know why people aren't voting. There's 68 people watching and we have 16 votes, guys. Hello. I know you might be, sleeping in your chair right now, but geez, come on. Let's get a vote in.
Maybe they're folding the laundry or something.
Honestly, that's what my show's good for. Oh, you got to do laundry? Let me put on the most boring show possible. Anyways. All right. So here we go. We're seeing more votes come in. Alex is taking the win. So we'll give the win to Alex. But great setups today, nonetheless. No love for Dean or Pedro. Kind of weird there, but still great setups nonetheless. And I appreciate everyone who submitted. Be sure to submit yours, pimpmysetup.com. Go to pimpmysetup.com/3 to see, oh, geez, I just hit my keyboard, to see all of the setups that were featured today with all the product links and stuff like that. And yeah, Jason, thank you so much for coming on and be sure to check them out, guys.
Yeah, thank you. And thanks for having me, man. This is like a dream come true. I love talking about this stuff.
Well, I definitely want to have you on again. It's nice to have someone who knows all of the model numbers for all the products featured. So definitely need that.
Hazard for sure.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. We're seeing some love for Pedro and Dean now in the votes, which is nice, but that is going to do it for this episode. We'll be back next Saturday at 4:30 p.m. instead of 4. And we have Barnacles coming on. So it's going to be a fun episode. And with that said, guys, we'll see you next time. Peace. Thanks for tuning in. We're live every Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern time here on YouTube. Be sure to submit your setup by going to pimpmysetup.com. Check out all of the products featured at the link in the description. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter. And with that said, we'll see you next week.